All right, what is going on, Chiefs Kingdom? Welcome back to another episode of the Kingdom Says Live edition. I am your host, as always, Garrett Williams. Tonight, just got the one co-host with me, Mr. Thomas Pike, Arrowhead Tom. How you doing tonight, Tom?
Good. We were talking before we hopped on here about how quickly we got this up and running. This is a speed run for us.
Yeah, just a little
Hopefully it'll be
impromptu.
an easy episode and an easy game. That's what we're feeling. Those are the vibes we're putting out.
That is the vibes of this one. Monday night, facing the Washington Commanders. Which, fun fact, I think this is the first time the Washington Commanders are playing in Arrowhead ever under
Yeah,
that team name. And I think
yeah.
it's also the first time Mahomes has played the Commanders under that team. Now I think they played the Washington football team. I don't know if he made it in with the name before the Washington
Previous
football team.
rendition.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but so it's kind of a interesting endeavor as biggest news from this game obviously coming up is the fact that the Commanders starting quarterback Jaden Daniels is not going to be playing in the game. So that's kind of a little bit of a letdown for the fans. It might have been another great matchup between a young guy and a guy like Jaden Daniels who's been coming onto this league really strong after a really good rookie year, and this year it's been kind of up and down with some injuries and stuff. So losing him definitely sucks for the Commanders and their fans. And now they have good old Marcus Mariota instead, who's going to be rolling back out there. Very familiar with big-time games in Arrowhead. If everyone, I'm sure everyone remembers was it 2015 or 2016? The Titans played the Chiefs in the playoffs. That was the game that the forward progress sack fumble from Derek Johnson happened. That was the Mariota catches his own touchdown pass game. Just a lot of crazy voodoo magic in the before the Mahomes era had started. So now all of a sudden he's back, Tom. He's back, and this Commanders team kind of an interesting squad they got this year.
Yeah. Man, I will say the Commanders have gone through a lot of changes in the last couple of years, starting with ownership. And I think they used to be a franchise that was not only just bad, but just was run. I have no love for Dan Snyder, so I have no problem just saying he was not a great human by all accounts. And yeah, so in some ways, it's really cool to have a franchise that you can at least be a fan of, right? They've got
Yeah,
some,
proud of
some
being a
players that
fan.
like
Yeah,
Terry McLaurin. Man, Scary Terry is
he's a
that's
dog.
a dude right there. Yeah. I think Jaden Daniels is a really fun player. I'm sad that we are going to miss this matchup, especially being an NFC opponent. You're only going to see him so often with Mahomes, and yeah, Jaden's got some special traits. Really hoping that he rests up, and the league is better when he's playing.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
as far as Mariota goes, there's some trauma there. We all know that. uh, at the same time, that was a long time ago. That was a whole different defensive scheme ago. Uh, I'm not too worried. I think this will be a situation where um, uh, Patrick gets to exercise some more demons, maybe a little bit, and this one's maybe a smaller one. Not one that we need to, but he's just all the other curses and weird things that he's broken for this franchise. We'll just tack this one on there. It gets that even with Mariota. So
yeah.
yeah,
Kind of start going through the old random quarterbacks that have he beat Jared Goff a couple of weeks ago for the first time. You beat Mariota now, and kind of just some of those random little things you check off the bucket. Yeah, it's interesting. So yeah, I was looking at Mariota's stats the past 2 years. He's really only thrown. I mean, he threw 364 yards last year. He's had 426 yards so far this year. Um, he's three touchdowns, 2 interceptions so far. So he's not quite. Obviously he's been in the league for a very long time. Was the number one overall pick in 2015.
number two,
Number two to
he was
behind
number
James.
two behind our friend who likes to consume W's, Mr.
Right.
James Winston.
Jameis Winston, yeah. So it's he had a decent career in Tennessee. Then he's kind of just been a backup for the rest of this time. So nothing really in my book that's super intimidating about the Marcus Mariota led Commanders. They got some good playmakers though over there. Like you said, I mean Terry McLaurin is really good. Debo Samuel is also over there, who's been having a really good year with him so far. And they're both actually going to be back for this game. They've been dealing with injuries of both of them. And so that was announced that no Jane Daniels, but they will get some of their other top offensive targets back in the lineup. So Mariota at least has some guys to throw to, but I don't know. Their offensive line, not really the greatest. I know they've had Andrew Wiley rotating snaps over there for him in a couple spots. Nick Allegretti was getting some snaps for him.
Hmm.
So not really, their offense has been is up and down, and without having Jaden Daniels, it's really not. You can't really expect much from them, especially with how this C Spagnuolo defense is playing. Like I don't anticipate them doing a whole lot better than the Raiders did last week, although I don't think they'll get
Hmm.
shut out like the Raiders. But I think
Yeah.
it'll probably be a little bit better than that. But it's still, I mean,
Hmm.
our defense is pretty hard to take off the trains right now, anyways, Tom. So I mean,
Yeah.
I don't anticipate a lot of fireworks from the Commanders' offense.
Yeah, I don't either. I think they could be pesky and kind of annoying. Their rookie, Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, the running back, is
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
fun. He's
mm-hmm.
got some juice to him. That offensive line is, man, I don't want to speak ill of them because they've got some dudes, right? Laramie
Yep,
Tunsil,
Larry Tunsil, yeah,
uh, and obviously we got love for Big Nick and Andrew. And yeah, interesting line. I think that but I think on the inside, Tyler Biadasz is not the best center. Sam Cosme is a little bit older guy, tackle convert. Same thing. Chris Paul is a younger guy, but I think he was originally supposed to be. If I remember, it's Chris Paul from Tulsa. Let me double check. Yeah, I think he was supposed to be more of a tackle. Didn't
not
really
the
work
last
out.
one.
Bumped him inside. So I think there's probably some room to eat on the inside for Chris. Um, it'll be interesting to see, especially with Omar Norman Lott going down, what that defensive tackle rotation looks like, and how maybe there's a guy on the roster who earns himself a little bit more reps, but I don't know who that would be.
Yeah, I don't know. It'd
But
be interesting to see if they promote anyone from the practice squad for this game. I don't think. I mean, I
yeah,
think they would have had to have done that
uh,
already. I'm not sure. I don't know
yeah,
when they have to do practice squad elevations. They could maybe do it tomorrow because it's a
we've
Monday night
got.
game.
Sorry, I'm not trying to cut you off.
No, you're good. Yeah, I was cutting you off actually. So
Well, okay. Next time we'll fight about it. um, Let me see if he's still on our. Well, I mean, speaking of practice squads and you know uh, things that have happened, obviously we got Essa pullback. We'll throw that in there real quick.
yeah,
More
yeah,
piece of Chiefs news.
exciting development
And
getting the
yeah,
undrafted free agent offensive tackle. We had a really good preseason and training camp with the Chiefs, and then just barely missed out on the final cut day roster. That I think Brett Veach or someone said that he was basically their 54th guy that they
yeah.
wanted to keep around. He ended up getting poached by the Jets on the
Mhm.
waiver wire, and they just released him this week. So pretty inevitable reunion, giving us a pullback really good just for tackle depth. You can never have too much tackle depth. You can develop the young guys. Andy Reid was saying it like, just you liked him enough to bring him in the first time. So yeah, we'll keep him around, and in case you know Josh Simmons the situation, which we also have more updates on that now, which is at least
Yeah.
a little reassuring that per Nate Taylor, Josh Simmons is going to return to the team in a couple
Mhm.
weeks. I believe after the bye week is what they were saying.
Yeah. It
I,
sounds like, despite the initial kind of hubbub about the situation, whatever it is obviously a personal situation. Josh and his family, they're choosing to not disclose more, and that's their right to do so. I think the report this week alleviated a lot of anxiety with concerns about is it going to be legal involvement, is his career ending, whatever. And again, that's we talked about this a few weeks ago. The wild speculation. Oh look, my camera's all right, whatever. Uh, it's just that's how it's going. The
Cameron
wild
just
speculation,
yeah.
that type of stuff is just not helpful. So the clarity, the positivity, the positive report was nice to get. I'm gonna flash it and out of here. I'm still here. I'm gonna turn my camera off and hopefully it readjusts. But yeah, good to hear. We were talking. Man, my ADHD is on top of it today. Broderick Martin and Zach Pickens are the two young guys I would watch for elevations at defensive tackle in the coming weeks. If they don't add somebody,
Yeah, they still got Marlon Tui Pelotu as well, which I know they've already maybe used one or two elevations on him. I think you only get three 3 a year for those practice squad guys. But
Yeah,
so yeah, you're one of those three. Have shown a little bit of flashes, but at least for this game, I would anticipate them getting more. Hey, Tom's clear again. Let's go.
I'm back and clear as day. See, well, we figured
Yeah,
it
but
out.
outside of the practice squad guys, you're going to be relying a lot on Derek Nottie to get some more snaps. Jerry Tillery is going to be a guy who's going to get a big
Mhm.
increase of snaps. I'm guessing now, using
Yeah.
Charles Menahue and Mike Dana and all those guys inside potentially. So it'll
Mhm.
be interesting to see how the defense is rolling after a really good performance. Covering
Yeah.
covering those Commanders wide receivers. It'll be interesting to see how the secondaries. That's always the big question, right? If the Chiefs play their secondary good, then usually it's all right. If Lawrence like Jamari Connor, he stays in the safety spot, not putting him in the slot versus Debo or something crazy. We can't be having that. Um,
Mhm.
and yeah, just keep guys in the right spot. Probably have Trent shadow McLaurin for most of the game, and see who else can kind of produce around him.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Again, I think defensively, the wash. Again, that there should be room on the interior to get some pass rush. I worry again with the absence, the shift, and some of that thinning up front, what that running game is going to look like. Um, but we'll see, right? We'll see how it tracks out, and I think the Chiefs probably want to add a body, go find somebody, but a pretty short turnaround to do that. So we'll see.
Yeah, at least for this
See
week. But
how
the
it works
trade
out.
rumors are still circulating. That's been the big thing, that there's been more reports of people potentially like Quinnen Williams with the Jets maybe being on the market.
I
That'd be
would love
crazy.
Quentin Williams.
That'd be, I mean,
Listen, if we pull a deal off for Quentin Williams, I can't say I will do one, but I will at least attempt a backflip on stream. So like put
that's
it
a
put it
that's a
put
bold
it
one right
down.
there.
That's a guarantee. I doubt it'll go. I doubt it'll work either way, the trade or the backflip. But if it happens, man, Quentin
Yeah,
Williams
that would
would be awesome because this
that
is a
would be
run
a
that
wild fantasy, but in both of
yeah
those
that needs some juice,
aspects.
that needs some youth in that interior. Chris is who Chris is, but Chris Jones is obviously awesome. But
Yeah,
yeah,
need another guy though somehow. I mean, whether it's interior or on the edge, there's been a lot of Jermaine Johnson from the Jets is another guy that would be really intriguing. There's a couple names floating around there that are guys that are on some pretty bad teams that they might be willing to be offloaded. On unrelated note, there's a report that Brian Thomas Jr. might be on the trade block from Jacksonville. That'd be crazy.
listen, I
I
love
don't like we
BTJ.
need Brian Thomas Jr., but I mean,
I don't think we need him, and I think he's on the trade block for a reason.
mhm.
I don't think he's taking the step that they want him to, and it's hard because Jacksonville is just another like as an organization I want to root for them, but it just feels like they're always doing something kind of wonky.
Yeah, they're
Um,
kind of a little wacky down there. Yeah.
yeah, so I don't think it's worth the Chiefs sniffing around that too much. Not unless they're like, hey, not unless the situation kind of like the Luka Doncic trade where they just call you up and go, hey, do you want this guy for peanuts? And I'm like,
Yeah.
sure.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you want to. Yeah, so unless it's just something like that, not
Yeah.
not really something
Unless
I'd
they're like,
pursue.
hey, we really need interior defensive tackle help. Can you send us Derek Nottie in exchange? Be like, sure. Yeah. Sure,
Yeah,
we can do
yeah,
that.
no, for yeah, you actually
Uh,
want you want Derek
yeah.
Nottie to give us something back. Sure, yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead, have it
Yeah,
twice.
exactly. Yeah, we can do that for you for sure. So yeah, overall, I mean, the defensive matchup for the Chiefs, I'm not super worried about it. Probably won't see, I would guess we probably don't see a lot of Christian Fulton again. It seems like he's just relegated to a healthy scratch until, he's needed, which I think Spags or someone came out and kind of spoke about it and just kind of said, like, hey, I mean, he just missed a lot of practice time, and Noel Williams basically took his job. And that's kind of how it is sometimes in the NFL. But you can never have too much good corner depth. And keeping him
Mhm.
around, I think, there's been trade rumors of maybe the Chiefs trading one of their corners, either between Christian Fulton or Josh Williams. Seems like Josh Williams would be the more appropriate guy. Seems like you don't want to get rid of good depth if you don't have to. It's like you might as well keep Christian Fulton around. You paid him a good amount of money. Might as well keep him around for depth, if anything, in case you really need him. But I don't know. We'll see if the Chiefs become buyers or sellers at the trade deadline. We still have another until November 4th, I think, is the trade, or November 3rd, one of the two. So We'll see.
Yeah,
We'll see. It's supposed to
it
be
would
a
be
wacky,
surprising if they
wacky
don't
trade.
find a body to add a defensive tackle just because of the injuries. But yeah,
Yeah. So flipping over to the other side of the ball now, Chiefs offense versus this Commanders defense. Um, Kind of the same deal. I mean, there's not a lot of intimidation. They had a really good pass rusher over there, Dorrance Armstrong. He got injured. I think he had a season-ending quad injury or something just last week. So that's a big blow for him on the defensive front. Outside of that, I mean, still have Bobby Wagner over there, right? They still have Marshawn Lattimore, I think, as a
yep.
corner. Yeah. So I
You
mean, they
still
got a
have Edgar
couple.
Innings and stuff.
Yeah, they got a couple players over there on the defense. A little bit more of attitude, a little more swagger. You might be able to say, but I don't know, Tom. What's your take on the Commanders' defense?
Deron Payne. So obviously, I think the
Ron
big
Payne's
one
good.
with
Yeah,
the at least for the Chiefs' offense is Trey Smith is listed as doubtful, likely out for the
right.
game. Doesn't sound like it'll be a long term thing, but I think it's wise to be cautious with back injuries. So I depending on how they work. I mean, really, all four of their defensive tackles are pretty solid. Drawn Payne is probably the top of that list. Eddie Goldman's been around forever. Trezon Newton should have been a first round pick, but had some injury stuff um, pop up, and then Javon Kinlaw, who former first round pick, not as didn't kind of meet that hype of his draft status, but has been a solid player.
Still a decent
Uh,
player. Yeah,
Apparently Von Miller is alive and playing on this
that's
team.
true.
So
Yeah, he still exists over there.
um, yeah, I thought he retired after he robbed the Buffalo Bills, but
They've got a
no,
very old defense over there. I tell you what, Bobby Wagner and Von Miller playing on the same team in 2025. That's crazy. That's just
yeah,
kind of
get
crazy.
your bag. He does have 4 sacks this year apparently. So
Huh.
um, yeah, Von Miller is doing Von Miller stuff. That's a weird. I didn't even realize that he was over there.
Yeah, I forgot
I
about
will give
that.
a shout out to Frankie Luvu, who I think is an underrated guy.
He is very
Has
underrated.
plays with
Yeah,
some juice, plays with a lot of passion.
exactly.
Um, uh, Pretty versatile, but again, yeah, he's 29, so even him.
Yeah.
Um,
They
I
got
think,
Mike
yeah,
Sainer still at corner. He was a pretty
yeah,
fun prospect out of Michigan a year or two ago.
yeah, very technically sound, very
Yeah.
small corner. They've got so Trey Amos is another guy. He's a rookie. I'm not scared. Like he'll be an interesting one. I'm sure this could be a big Travis Kelsey game. That's what I'll say because I'm looking at
Yeah.
his defense and I think they're going to match Marshawn up with whoever they're worried about. Trey's an athlete. He can run. He's probably I could see them matching him up with Hollywood, and there's probably some room to eat there. And then um, Hollywood might see some, but I'm looking at these safeties. I'm looking at the way this kind of defense like lays out, and I feel like there's going to be room up the seams to really work the linebackers. Bobby's obviously was a all pro to his day, but he's slowed down a little bit. I would say he's probably slowed down a lot faster than Travis Kelsey has slowed down.
Yeah.
I think Frankie's a good coverage linebacker, but he's a smaller guy at 235, so uh, probably get pushed around a little bit. I I think I'd look for Travis to have a big day. I think you could see, and then it's just going to be kind of picking them apart for whoever else. If Travis doesn't, again, I on the other side look for Noah to maybe get some work.
Yeah.
If you come some of those 2 tight end sets, I really think the safeties and the attacking the seams in this game is going to be big. Uh, and then just maybe, I mean, yeah, running some of those horizontal crossing routes, under routes, trying to get everybody in traffic, especially those linebackers. Yeah, they're smart, they're instinctive, but um, I think you can kind of create a mess in there and get away from the corners, and you've got room to run. So
Yeah.
maybe you'll have some fun with it.
Yeah, it should be an interesting matchup. You definitely can't underrate the defenses. I mean, it's a Dan Quinn defense. Dan Quinn defenses are usually pretty good. Dan Quinn's has a good track record for being a good coach and being a good defensive coordinator. And usually, I think last year you could say maybe their defense was a little bit better than what it's been so far this year. I know there's been a lot of injury things and just a lot of up and downs with how their season's been going, but definitely can't underrate them. Definitely can't take them lightly. Definitely going to be more of a challenge than the Raiders were last week. That's not a really high bar to clear, anyways. But definitely, I think you can get a little more things. It seems like a game that, yeah, speed is a big factor that might benefit you, to have a lot of speed on your offense. And luckily for the Chiefs, that's kind of their main thing, is having a lot of speed. So we'll see. We'll see how what the wide receiver rotation looks like. Second game with Rashee Rice back. They were still kind of ramping him up, quote unquote, ramping him up last week. So you got a whole nother probably increase of snaps for him. They didn't really get Xavier. I mean, last week it was just kind of like everybody's going to eat, as they say. Like there was just kind of a couple catches here or there for guys, and overall just a really impressive day. So I could see it being a similar thing for, honestly, probably the rest of the year. It's probably going to be like this. I mean, there's probably going to be a couple games where one guy really takes the reins and kind of dominates the stat line, but feels like it's just kind of take what you get, and you have a lot of options now, and as far as weapons that you can throw to, and the run game's actually performing pretty well now. I'm sure there's going to be a good amount of Isaiah Pacheco featured. Kareem Hunt was limited or something in practice a couple times this week, so I'm sure he'll still be good, but just maybe a little bit more, maybe save his carries for the important third and short situations. Which, by the way, Kareem Hunt, if you're not paying attention, he's like the best short yardage back in football right now per the stats. He's actually, I think, more successful than the tush push I saw. His third and one or fourth and one Kareem Hunt carries. So he has been a pretty good weapon in that sense. And now that Isaiah Pacheco is kind of getting his legs back and getting a lot more confidence in his running style. Trey Smith being out, that will affect the run game a little bit, but not out. He's doubtful, but he's probably going to be out. So having Mike Caliendo in there once again, which we talked about last week, like it's okay to have Mike Caliendo starting for one or two games. That's you just don't want him to have to pile up and especially go against a really good defensive line. I mean, there's still a pretty good defensive line. Like it's going to be a good challenge for Caliendo for sure. But I think just having more cohesion and more guys around him that are, I mean, Creed and Jawan are both playing really good. The left side of the line's been playing good. Jalen Moore and in Josh Simmons' absence has been playing really good. And of course, Kingsley Suamataia is the last, like the offensive line has been playing really, really sound football this year. So plugging Caliendo in there for a game, I think he'll still be okay.
And an extra shout out to Kingsley, just because, like, again, as an offensive lineman, you don't get a lot of praise, but this is a guy who's playing guard for the first time in his career. We talked about the confidence stuff last year, getting pushed around, or coming in as like the starter for left tackle, then just all that falling out. Shout out to that kid, but also like we don't talk about him, which is like the highest compliment that you can give an offensive lineman in some ways. But also, it's not just that we don't talk, like he's making plays, he's moving bodies, he's doing what he's supposed to be doing, and I think there's meat on the bone there for him. I think he can get better, and that's pretty exciting, especially when you consider the size that he has, and you go from Kingsley, Creed, and Trey, like those are three big humans, and they keep moving people. And again, that's obviously Joe Tooney is a robot and was so good at what he did, but one of the things that I think you get a little bit with Kingsley is a little bit more strength and a little bit more size. Now it's going to be, a little bit more bull in a china shop, but especially the short yardage things, I think that might be part of that. I want to show some love to Kingsley because, again, as a guy who's second year and has had a pretty interesting first year in the league, I really think it's important to say, hey, we appreciate him stabilizing things there.
No, definitely. Yeah. I mean, such an underrated, like, just move by Brett Veach this offseason. Like, we all question it so much. Like, the fact that, you saw him for 2 games at tackle last year. He gets pulled and just benched for the whole year. They put him in 1 game at the end at guard, and we're all like, what the heck are you all doing? Like, what just happened? He's never played guard. All of a sudden, you need a tackle still, and you have a tackle, and you're just switching him to guard. So weird. Like, it was such a weird move in hind, like everyone thought. And then, you go into the offseason, they don't even acquire a veteran guard to like compete with him or like anything. Like, it's just like, yep, Kingsley's going to be the left guard and he's going to be fine at it. And it just, everyone was so questioning of like this guy who's never played guard before. All of a sudden he's starting and you're not even considering like competition or anything at this stage. And, turns out, I mean, they were right. They knew what they were talking about. Like somehow they figured out. And Andy Heck, shout out to Andy Heck. We gave him a lot of flack last year for the tackle issues, but the fact that he's managed to just turn Kingsley into a really good guard and just optimize the skill set that he has, and just, I mean, he's been great. Yeah, he's been so great, and that is going to be one of those things that, like, you look to successful franchises doing. Like, these are reasons why the Chiefs win the Super Bowl every year. It's like, these are the things, like, there's minor little things like this. You spend a second round pick on a tackle, and all of a sudden he's your starting left guard, and he's really good. Like, that's just that's just how you have to do it sometimes. So shout out to Brett Veach for doing that. Shout out to the coaching staff for molding him into a very good left guard, and helping him with that position change. And then just Kingsley himself just being a dog and taking the challenge of getting swapped positions into a spot he's never played, and just I'm gonna put my nose to the ground and just grind it out and do what's best to help the team. And all of a sudden, he's like a main feature in this run game. They're doing stuff too, like you said, like Joe Thuney, phenomenal, and I love him. But there's more unique things I feel like you can do with Kingsley, with his size, his speed, his strength. Like, it's just, you see him pulling, like, I mean, they'll pull him half of these snaps he pulls, and he's like at right tackle outside of Jawan, basically how fast he's getting there. And it's like, you didn't really see that with Joe Thuney. So a little bit of a different wrinkle that the offense has been able to add with some of these young guys that are definitely beneficial. It's definitely beneficial to have good guys up front you can run behind and use play action with, and just do a lot more creative run styles, guard tackle pulls, center guard stuff, like all these different fun things that you get when you have a really good athletic offensive line that's really meshing with each other and really understands the scheme. And it's great. This is the best offense that the Chiefs have had in a very long time, and we're gonna keep seeing that rolling. I don't think there's gonna be much slowing them down for the next couple of weeks unless something crazy happens. But I think overall, coming into this game, even though the Commanders' defense, they are, they're good, they're all right, and not going to disrespect them at all. But the Chiefs right now are rolling at a different pace than most groups, and I think I'm pretty confident in how the outcome of the game is going to go. Tom, what do you say?
Yeah, no, I feel, like I said, I feel good about it. We're gonna speed run that. It's not like a lot to, like, I'm like, oh yeah, it's not what I'm stressing about.
It's pretty
all that. And that means that it'll probably be some weird, really close game with a lot of hiccups. But I feel like the momentum has changed with this team, and this is a great time in the schedule to be doing that, because you can rebuild some of that confidence from those early frustrations. Which, I mean, it started all the way in week 1. The Commanders' defense, I was looking at their stats. They're bottom 10 in the league in terms of points allowed, yards allowed, that type of thing. And yeah, Dan Quinn is a great coach, and is going to coach those guys up. But and it's tough. It's tough to come into a game on a Monday night game with your starting quarterback out, and just the season they've had. Like, I'm not trying to dunk on the Commanders or not trying to be disrespectful to them. But yeah, I think that there's a good reason to feel comfortable about the situation, and to go into it with kind of a feeling of, hey, we can relax a little bit. We can relax, enjoy the game. We're more likely to be just fine.
Yeah, that's the hope. Usually, every time we hope for stress-free games, though, it ends up
it does bite us in the backside a lot.
Somehow it always gets us. Okay, well, I think we've done it. I think before we get to the score prediction part of the show, to wrap it out, we're gonna give a quick shout out to our friends at Underdog Fantasy, the homies over at Underdog. If you're not familiar with Underdog, they're great. They're one of the top just sports fantasy apps out there. They have so much stuff that you can do on there. They got the higher lower stuff. They got fantasy. They got pick'ems. They've got just so many different games and stuff that you can play on Underdog. It's a really great time. It's a really good way to kind of just get a little bit more connected to the game, a little more invested, have a little more rooting interest in some things, and just kind of put your skills to the test and your knowledge to the test, and have a little bit more fun while you're watching the NFL, football, or anything. They got every sport on there, basically. They got racing and esports and all kinds of fun stuff on Underdog. So you should definitely check them out, download their app, and if you use our code kingdomsays, if you play $5, you get $100 in bonus funds to play with. Like that's all you gotta do. You just gotta put in $5, you play it, and then you get 100 just for free, just as a great bonus. So it's really a great offer, and you should definitely get onto it while they still got that going. So use code Kingdom Says when you're signing up for the account, and yeah, shout out to Underdog for continuing to rock with us. And yeah, Tom. So what do you think score prediction wise? What are we thinking?
Um,
Before sorry, I'm pump faking you. Before you do that, let me pull up um, some numbers real quick, just so we kind of have a frame of reference. Let's see. The over under is 47 and a half. The Chiefs are 11 and a half point favorites. That's pretty substantial. Um,
yeah. Um,
yeah, so that's kind of how Vegas feels about it. They seem like it's, I mean, at home in Arrowhead, you get the home field advantage, Monday night game. It's going to be probably a really great atmosphere in there. Probably a lot of people buying tickets that thought they'd see Jane Daniels. So
yeah. Yeah. Man, it's tough. It's always tough with these games. I think, even last week there were a lot of things that went very well. uh, you know, uh, I don't know if we talked. I think it was. I think I heard or read that was Andy Reid's only regular season shutout. Um,
last week, yeah.
yeah. So um, I wouldn't foresee something like that. I think they'll get some points. If it was like 10, 13, even 17 points from Washington, it wouldn't surprise me. But I think the Chiefs are probably looking at. I think they've averaged 31 points the last 3 games, somewhere in there. So I think they'll probably keep it a little bit more tame. I'm. You said what did you say the over under was?
47 and a half.
47 and a half. Um, I'm feeling the under on that just because I think that would mean the Chiefs probably scored
I'm thinking
47 and a half points. I I'm gonna go 28-10 Kansas City.
Yeah, that's kind of about the ballpark I was thinking too. I'm definitely hammering the under for sure. I mean, I don't think there's going to be enough, mostly on the Commanders side. They're not going to be able to score enough points to kind of keep up. And the Chiefs, I mean, once we get 24 or 28 points, I guess we're probably putting our foot off the gas anyways. So I would definitely take the under as well. I was even probably leaning like, I guess I'm thinking like maybe like what do we win? What was last week's, like 31 to
31
nothing?
nothing.
Yeah, because I was gonna say 31 again, but I feel like maybe even more than that. I mean, I don't know. It's just the fact that you don't score a lot if the other team isn't scoring a lot. Like last week we only had 5 drives of Patrick Mahomes. So like if there's more drives, then there will be more scoring probably from the Chiefs. So I'm thinking. Let me go like 34-14 Chiefs. I think it's still. Does that hit the over?
Oh yeah, that hits the over by
Shoot.
a point.
Wow, that's a good over. I tell you, that's good.
Yeah,
Somehow in Vegas, they just know those lines. Yeah. Okay. I guess it. Okay, I'm changing to 31-14 then, because I don't think it's gonna hit the. I don't think it's hitting the over. I think it's definitely an under game. The Commanders might be lucky if they score more than 10 points. So we'll see. We'll see what kind of Mariota magic that they got going on, but should be a pretty straightforward game. That's what we kind of thought this whole time with no Jaden Daniels. It's unfortunate that we don't get to see that matchup, but for the Chiefs, we'll take any win any way we can get it. We're not gonna shy away from wins because we're kind of down on them a little bit. So I think we're still like third in the AFC West, second, or maybe we're tied for second.
uh,
'Cause I know the Chargers didn't lose, the Broncos didn't lose. Let me just look it up. I know the
and the
Ravens suck.
Broncos
Yeah, we're
ticked me off.
third
Yeah, we're
right now.
third.
Yeah, so the Broncos are 5-2. The Chargers are 5-3. So yeah, we got to root for
Uh,
some losses tomorrow, and then we get a win, and then all of a sudden, we still wouldn't be first because the Chargers have the tiebreaker over us, but we'd be closer. We'd be closer to first, I think. So
yeah,
um,
I think once we get into our divisional schedule a little bit more, I think we've got a good chance of evening some things out. The Chargers have a pretty easy schedule for until December. So don't panic if they're still sitting atop of the division or the Broncos. The Broncos have a somewhat tougher schedule. Texans, Packers. Well, that's also December, but yeah, I think those December January games are going to be a little bit different. I don't think we'll be sitting starters this year, so
Yeah,
might be a good time to buy some of those tickets. Might be good to be
that's
there for
facts.
when
I
the
was
Chiefs
actually that
nail
is the
down
Raiders
their.
game. That was a big thing too. I was kind of pissed because we were playing the Raiders in Week 18 in Vegas, and I was like, man, we're gonna be resting our starters. I'm not even gonna bother going to the game because I'm obviously only 2.5 hours away from that. But
Yeah,
hopefully we won't be resting the starters, and I can go to that game because that'd be pretty
yeah.
cool.
Go get to celebrate the would it be 11th straight 11th AFC West championship.
I think so. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
maybe 10th. Maybe I don't know. I think we might be on 9 straight right now, but maybe it's 10.
I think we're on 10 now.
Are we? I mean, maybe. Let me see.
Let's
I feel
look
like we
this up
just
right
looked this
now.
up last week too. I feel like I was
Okay,
just so,
they are at 9. So you're right. This would be 10th.
okay.
So
Nice.
yeah, where are your Isaiah Pacheco games for the jersey?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Okay, cool. Well, I think we did it. I think we did it. Everyone appreciate everyone rocking with us tonight. A little bit shorter of an episode, but it's just kind of a simple, simple
Yeah,
game. Nothing too crazy, nothing too newsworthy happened this week, at least in the Chiefs side of things. There's other crazy things that happen in the sports world, like illegal poker things and
yeah.
gambling and all that stuff, but that's not in the NFL, so we don't care about it. So
As far as we know, hopefully.
yeah, it was. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, knock on wood. I mean, Jameson Williams did, I think, but I think that was on NBA games, not betting on
Yeah,
NFL games. But he did get suspended, so I don't
yeah.
know. We'll see. Should be a good NFL weekend. We appreciate everyone for rocking with us tonight, and enjoy a Sunday of no Chiefs football, which is kind of fun sometimes. You can just kind of relax and watch Red Zone all day and don't got to stress about a Chiefs game. And then Monday night in Arrowhead should be a fun matchup. Is it cold out there, Tom? Is it cold out there right
It's
now?
pretty
Hot?
chilly.
Yeah,
It's 54 degrees.
that is pretty chilly. Yeah, Monday night it's gonna be a little chilly out there, I bet. So, I
Yeah,
mean,
best time for football
for
weather.
me it'd be chilly. Yeah, for you it's probably shorts and sweater still. Oh, oh,
I got the shorts on. You can't see it.
hey, he's actually
Hold
got
on, wait a
pants
minute.
on.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, he's
That's
got
right.
legs.
You stuck around
Oh,
this long in the podcast, you to see some skin.
dang! Wow.
Shorts and a hoodie.
Everyone
Best
who's
time of the year.
stuck around to the end of that's got a show. I hope you all
Yeah, you
appreciated
got a
that
real
one.
chubby if if you've hung out this long.
That's your
But
reward for hanging
explicit
out
time
with us all
back
night.
on the video.
Yeah. So, all right, that's everything. Be sure to check us out at Kingdom Says Pod, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Check us out, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you get your podcast at. We will be there, and we will see you guys next week on the next episode of the Kingdom Says.